Welcome, dear learners. Today I'm going to talk about the ecosystem services. Let's get started. Ecosystem services are the essential benefits humans receive from nature, sustaining life and improving our well-being. They form the bridge between natural ecological processes and human societies, linking biodiversity, economy, and culture. The Millennium Ecosystem Assessment in 2005 classified these services into four types, that is, provisioning, which is providing food, water, and minerals; regulating, which maintains balance through climate and water regulation; and cultural, which enriches our spiritual and recreational lives. The last one is the sporting, which underpins all other through soil formation and nutrients cycling. Simply, but ecosystem services are the invaluable goods and the functions ecosystem provide that makes human existence possible. Talking about the types of ecosystem services, provisioning service are the direct tangible products we obtain from ecosystems that sustain life and drive economies. They include all the materials and energy sources humans harvest from nature. For example, food such as crops, fish, and livestock forms the foundation of food security, while fresh water from rivers and aquifers is vital for drinking and agriculture. Ecosystems also supply fiber and timber for industries, fuel wood and bioenergy for rural livelihoods, and medicinal resources that inspire modern drugs. Additionally, genetic resources from wild species strengthen crop resilience and innovation. These services highlight our deep dependence on nature's bounty for survival and progress. Provisioning services hold immense ecological and economic value, forming the backbone of human lives, livelihoods, and global markets. Around 70% of the world's poor directly depend on these resources, such as forests, fisheries, and farmlands. That is for food, shelter, and income. Ecologically, they sustain biodiversity and maintain ecosystem productivity. Economically, they support agriculture, pharmaceuticals, and energy sectors, and over 25% of the modern medicines originate from natural compounds. However, unsustainable extraction, including overfishing and deforestation, disrupts ecosystem balance and depletes resources, threatening long-term human welfare. Ensuring sustainable use and equitable access to these natural goods is crucial for ecological integrity and economic resilience. Regulating services are the natural control systems of planet that maintain environmental balance and ecosystem resilience. They regulate key processes such as climate, air, water quality, ensuring stable conditions for life. Forests act as carbon sinks, oceans absorb heat, and vegetation filters air pollutants. Wetlands and forests manage water flows, preventing floods and drought, while pollinators sustain food production. Predators and biodiversity control pests and diseases, reducing chemical dependence. Vegetation prevents soil erosion and microbes in wetland that purify water through natural decomposition. These services operate silently yet indispensable for ecological stability, human health, and climate security. Regulating services function as nature's insurance system, buffering societies against environmental shocks and disasters. They protect life and property by stabilizing climate, purifying air, water, and preventing soil erosion. For instance, coastal mangroves act as natural barriers, shielding human settlements from tsunami, cyclones, and storm surges. These invisible benefits maintain ecosystem health, agriculture productivity, and public well-being. If economically valued, regulating services would amount to trillions of dollars annually, yet they remain largely excluded from GDP calculations. Recognizing and integrating their true worth into policy and planning is essential for sustainable development and climate resilience. Cultural services represent the intangible benefits people derive from nature that nurture the mind, spirit, and society. They enrich human life through spiritual, aesthetic, educational, and recreational experiences. Sacred groves and holy rivers like the Ganga hold deep spiritual and religious significance. Beautiful landscapes and seascapes provide aesthetic pleasure and enhance mental well-being. National parks and wildlife sanctuaries promote recreation and ecotourism, generating income and conservation awareness. Nature also serves as a living classroom, supporting scientific learning and environmental education. Moreover, ecosystems preserve cultural heritage, connecting communities to their traditions and reinforcing a sense of identity and belonging. Ecosystems hold profound socio-cultural significance, shaping the identity, creativity, and well-being of societies. They also intricately reflect in art, literature, folklores, and local traditions, symbolizing humanity's deep connection with nature. Ecotourism based on natural landscapes not only fosters appreciation for biodiversity but also supports sustainable livelihoods and conservation funding for local communities. In modern settings, urban green space such as parks and gardens offer places for relaxation, social interaction, and recreation that enhance mental health and social cohesion. Thus, cultural services link ecology with culture, showing that protecting nature also means preserving social and emotional fabric of human life. Supporting services form ecological foundation upon which all other ecosystems services depend. They include vital natural processes such as nutrient cycling, soil formation, primary production, and biodiversity maintenance. These functions ensure the continuous renewal of resources and the stability of ecosystems. For instance, nutrient cycling maintains soil fertility, the photosynthesis drives energy flow through ecosystems, biodiversity in turn supports resilience and adaptability to change. Without these fundamental processes, provisioning, regulating, and cultural services could not exist. Thus, supporting services act as a life support system for planet, sustaining both ecological integrity and human well-being over the long term. Ecosystem services are highly interconnected, and changes in one type often affects others. When provisioning services such as timber or minerals are overexploited through logging or mining, it can degrade regulating services like water purification and cultural services such as recreation or aesthetics. Sustainable approaches aim to create synergies balancing multiple benefits. For instance, agroforestry combines food production with soil conservation and scenic value. A wetland, for example, offers fish, that is provisioning service, flood control, regulating service, and bird watching, that is cultural service. However, draining it for agriculture may boost short-term yield but permanently reduces ecological balance and long-term human well-being. Valuing ecosystem services help translate nature's benefits into economic and social terms, making them visible in policy and planning. By assigning value, we can integrate natural capital into national accounts such as conservation priorities and support cost benefit analysis for sustainable development. Several methods are used for valuation, that is market pricing estimates the worth of traded goods like timber or fish. Replacement cost assesses the price of man-made substitutes such as levees replacing mangroves. Contingent valuation gauges people's willingness to pay for the conservation. Travel cost measures the value of recreational sites, and benefit transfer applies valuation data from similar ecosystems. Globally, the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment in 2005 and IPBES in 2019 reports that the reports have highlighted that continued ecosystem degradation threatens human well-being, economic stability, and planetary health. The loss of biodiversity reduces nature's capacity to provide essential services like food, clean water, and climate regulation. In India, ecosystem services are deeply tied to rural livelihoods, biodiversity hotspots, and climate resilience. For instance, Sundarbans mangrove buffer storm surges, the Western Ghats provide water and non-timber products, and Himalayan forests store carbon while holding sacred culture value. Wetlands like Chilka Lake sustain fisheries and ecotourism, reflecting India's rich yet vulnerable natural capital. Ecosystem services are under severe pressure from multiple human-induced threats that disrupt ecological balance and resource availability. Deforestation and land use change destroy habitats, reducing biodiversity and carbon storage. Pollution and eutrophication degrade water and soil quality, harming aquatic and terrestrial life. Or exploitation of resources like fish, timber, and minerals deplete natural stocks faster than they can regenerate. Climate change intensifies these problems through rising temperatures, altered rainfall, and extreme weather events. Additionally, rapid urbanization and infrastructure expansion fragment ecosystems and limit their capacity to deliver vital services. Addressing these threats is essential for sustaining life-supporting ecological functions. Sustaining ecosystem services requires integrated conservation and policy action that values nature as a vital asset. Ecosystem-based management emphasizes protecting whole ecosystems rather than isolated components, ensuring long-term resilience. And implementing payment for ecosystem services scheme can reward communities for conservation efforts. Community-based conservation empowers local people as steward for natural resources. Natural capital accounting helps incorporation of ecosystem values into national or regional economic planning. Finally, environmental education and awareness foster a responsible behavior and public support for sustainable development. Together, these measures can balance ecological preservation with human prosperity, ensuring that nature's benefit endure for future generations. To conclude with, the ecosystem services are the foundation of life and economic well-being, supporting every aspect of human existence. Provisioning services meet our basic needs for food, water, and minerals. Regulating services maintain environmental balance and resilience, while cultural services nurture our spiritual and cultural emotional health. Together, they sustain both nature's society. Ensuring a balance among these services is vital for achieving sustainable development and protecting resources for future generations. As the saying goes, protecting nature is not charity, it is preserving the life support system that sustains us all. Safeguarding ecosystems means safeguarding humanity's collective future. If you like the video, please give the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe the EcoFam. Thank you for watching.